On the evening of June 21, 2013 in Jacksonville, Florida, 8-year-old Cherish Periwinkle vanished from a Walmart. What began as a seemingly helpful gesture from a stranger quickly turned into a parent's worst nightmare. Rain Periwinkle, Cherish's mother, had taken her 3 daughters to a Dollar General store to pick up clothes. Money was tight and Rain struggled to make ends meet. While shopping, she encountered a man who introduced himself as Don and offered to help. He said his wife had a gift card to Walmart and could help the family buy what they needed. The man, Donald James Smith, appeared kind and convincing. He reassured Rain that he just wanted to help. Desperate, Rain reluctantly agreed to go with him. The group arrived at a nearby Walmart around sunset. Surveillance footage later showed Smith walking calmly through the aisles with Cherish and her mother. He acted like a family friend, even helping load items into the cart. He said his wife was on the way to meet them. As time passed and the wife never arrived, Rain began to grow uneasy. Still, Smith continued to act as though everything was fine. Around 11 p.m., Smith offered to get the girls some McDonald's food from the front of the store. Cherish, tired and hungry, followed him. Rain allowed her daughter to go, not suspecting danger. But as the minutes passed and neither Cherish nor Smith returned, panic began to set in. Rain rushed to the front of the store where an employee informed her that the McDonald's had already closed. Realizing something was terribly wrong, she called 911. In her frantic call, she pleaded, "I had a bad feeling. I let her go, and I shouldn't have." Police immediately launched a search and issued an Amber Alert for Cherish. Her description, and that of Smith's white van, flooded news reports through the night. What investigators did not immediately know was that Donald Smith had a long and disturbing history. He was a convicted sex offender who had just been released from jail 3 weeks earlier for failing to register his new address. He had previously spent time in prison for crimes involving children. Authorities would later reveal he was being watched by the Department of Corrections due to his high risk of reoffending. The morning after Cherish vanished, her lifeless body was discovered in a wooded area near a church not far from the Walmart. Her body had been sexually assaulted and strangled. An autopsy confirmed that she had suffered extensively before her death. Donald Smith was arrested within hours of the body's discovery. Police had tracked his van, and he was taken into custody without incident. DNA evidence and surveillance footage left no doubt about his involvement. The case against him was overwhelming. In 2018, after years of delays, Smith stood trial for kidnapping, sexual battery, and first-degree murder. The trial was harrowing. The jury watched security footage from Walmart and listened to expert testimony about the brutal nature of Cherish's assault and killing. The state called Smith a predator who had meticulously planned his attack. Rain Periwinkle took the stand and recounted the events of that night with agonizing detail. She admitted she made a grave mistake in trusting Smith and struggled with guilt over the decision that allowed her daughter to walk away with him. Her testimony moved many to tears. The jury deliberated for less than 15 minutes before returning a guilty verdict. During the sentencing phase, the prosecution pushed for the death penalty. They emphasized Smith's long criminal history, his lack of remorse, and the cruelty of the crime. On May 3, 2018, the jury unanimously recommended the death penalty. The judge upheld their decision, and Donald James Smith was sentenced to death. He currently sits on death row at Florida prison. The case prompted renewed scrutiny of how sex offenders are monitored and spurred calls for stricter oversight of released offenders. Her mother, though still grieving, has become an advocate for child safety.